Hi, this is One Punch Apologetics. This is One Punch. Today, we are diving into maybe Alex's last issue with God. The problem of suffering and evil, especially animal suffering. Which led him to become a vegan for some time. Alex genuinely has a good heart and a strong sense of compassion, and his decision to become vegan shows his concern for the pain that animals have to suffer. Although he has since stopped being a vegan, it is likely that his struggle with suffering continues to shape his worldview. This could simply be part of his growth process, as we all are continually wrestle with all these big questions over time. Alex's concern about suffering in animal kingdom highlights a key issue with atheism. In our Chinese tradition, we often describe people who lack moral or ethical reasoning as behaving like animals, like 禽兽不如, or acting out like 畜生. Animals generally do not possess moral and ethical reasoning in the same way as humans do. They are not moral agents, capable of understanding right and wrong or making conscious ethical decisions. Their actions, driven by instinct and survival, are fundamentally different from human morality. Without an objective moral guide, God, humankind will be reduced to be living like animals, driven by survival instinct alone. Atheists struggle to explain the problem of suffering. Do you? Especially in the animal world, as it is evident in how Alex is facing during that period of his time. Because without a higher standard, there is no moral obligation beyond self-preservation. However, Christians understand that while animals suffer and feel pain and go through emotional experience, they lack of spiritual nature that humans have, the part of us that connect us with God and seek a higher purpose.
闇に叩き落とされた時、光を求めるものなんだ。その光はどんなにか細くても小さくてもいい。ただそこにあるだけで希望が。
You don't see animals kneel down and worship the heaven. Then, why does suffering exist in animal kingdom? The Bible explains that all of creation has been affected by the fall of mankind in Genesis 3. The consequence of human sin extend to the natural world, causing suffering among animals as well, as stated in Romans 8 verse 20-22. But our God, a loving God, has a plan to redeem all creation. This includes the animal world. Does this mean that animal suffering doesn't matter? Absolutely not. God cares deeply for all his creation. In Proverbs 12 verse 10 it says, "Whoever is righteous has regard for the life of his beasts." God's ultimate plan includes the redemption of all creation, and there will be a day when suffering will come to an end for both humans and animals. The Bible promises a future where the world is restored and suffering will be no more. In Revelation 21 verse 4. God's original plan in the Garden of Eden was for humans to coexist in harmony without killing. Death entered the world only after sin, and the sacrificial system of atonement began as a result. Ultimately, God Himself came to be the final sacrifice for our sin, pointing to a future where suffering and death will be no more. Interestingly, suffering and evil is because of lack of moral and goodness. There's a flaw in atheist morality. Some might argue that humans help each other because it benefits survival, as we are social animals. But is this true? When we look at this world, we see riches often exploit the poor. Without objective moral law given by God, people prioritize their own gains. If evolution alone explains human behavior, then why should someone in a wealthy country care about a starving child in a distant land?
もうやめよう。こんな研究は。
In the absence of God, there's no higher moral obligation, no ultimate reason to care for others. It is God's Spirit in us that compels us towards compassion, mercy, and justice. Without Him, human nature would lead to protecting ourselves and only our immediate group. Now, let us address the heart of the issue. What is evil? How do we define it? There are many great discussions on this YouTube channel, lots of videos. I just want to share my personal experience as a cancer survivor. I taste suffering firsthand, and I wrestle with the question of evil deeply. From my theological study, and yes, I'm officially graduate in theology, evil can be understood as the absence of goodness. Like darkness, absence of light. Evil only exists when God's goodness is rejected. Without goodness, how can we even know what evil is?
今手を出せばやられていた。何なんだこいつは。好きだらけなのに、俺の直感が大音量で危険信号を発している。
Goodness is objectively defined by God. It is not relative or based on personal preference. Without God, there is no objective standard of goodness, and therefore no way to truly define evil.
そのために来たんだ。
In my previous video, I talked about general revelation, the idea that universe truth like right and wrong points to the reality of God. So, does a good God allow evil? Why? This led to one of the most challenging questions that Alex have. Why does a loving, a good God allow evil and suffering happening on our life? Why did God allow me to suffer through cancer multiple times? Why do animals suffer? Why does suffering exist at all? Suffering and evil come from the bad decision that we made. God allows suffering for the reason beyond our understanding, but much of it is the consequences of human disobedience and sin. Suffering exists not because God is indifferent, but because our world is broken due to the choice that we have made. Is suffering good? If you ask me today, would I go through the same 7 years of pain that cancer had brought upon me over and over again? I would say yes. Why? Because it brought me closer to God. It gave me a deeper sense of purpose. It made me a better person, a better son, a better father, a better husband. Suffering, although it is painful, but it often serves as a wake-up call. It forces us to stop, reflect, and sometimes even turn back to God. Pain is an indicator that something is wrong. Without it, we might continue down a path of destruction. For example, if my kneecap is hurting, without pain, I will continue to run and run till the point that my leg cannot take it. Pain itself pulls me back to tell me that I need to rest.
S 級ヒーロープリプリプリズナープリプリプリズナーエンジャーオスタイエンジャーラー聞いたわ少し
In conclusion, Alex's concern about suffering, especially in the animal kingdom, are heartfelt, and it is really valid. But without God, there is no coherent way to define or address the problem of evil, suffering, both in animals and humans. This forces us to confront a deeper truth about morality, purpose, and the existence of God. In the end, suffering often leads us to a deeper understanding of God's love and purpose of our life. I hope this message challenges you to think more deeply about the nature of suffering and morality, and God's ultimate plan for us and the creation. Thank you for watching. This is One Punch Apologetics. If you like the video, please share and like the video, even there's a lot of hate. Thank you.